The U.S. Department of Justice is suing the state of Arizona. The state's Republican governor recently signed a measure requiring proof of citizenship when voting in presidential elections, or if using the state's vote-by-mail system. The DOJ says the requirement is in violation of 2 existing laws. And joining me now to discuss is Mike Davis, founder and president of the Article 3 Project. Mike, welcome back. Great to see you. Get right to it here. Let's talk more about this lawsuit, the DOJ against Arizona. What's going on here? What does the DOJ say Arizona is violating?
Well, it's interesting. The Department of Justice is saying that under federal statute, Arizona is not allowed to ask people who are registering to vote whether they're U.S. citizens. If you look at the U.S. Constitution gives state legislatures the power to determine who is qualified to vote. And under the Constitution, state legislatures determine the time, place, and manner of elections unless Congress steps in. So the issue here is this is not a time, place, and manner regulation that Congress has authority to address. This is a qualification. Issue that Congress may or may not have authority to address. There was a Supreme Court decision in 2012 that made this an open question this will likely go to the Supreme Court again.
All right, so an AP article here. The Republican-controlled legislature was well aware of the federal law, but they argue the new law would boost election security. Do you agree?
I mean, yeah, they need to boost election security. You see the Biden administration having amnesty on our southern border and importing illegal economic migrants from Central America unrestricted. And if there's not a way to verify that they're citizens when they're registering to vote, we're going to have all kinds of voter fraud.
Opponents, as you know, they'll push back and say this hurts the elderly, this hurts the poor, hurts disabled people because they say they don't have access to IDs. And you say what?
Well, you know, what's amazing to me is the same Democrats who wanted people to have a COVID ID to get around society for 2 years seem to think that it's difficult for people to go to get a driver's license. I don't know of anyone in my family or any other family who has a problem getting a driver's license.
How do you see this playing out? I know you don't have a crystal ball, but who has the better case here, DOJ or Arizona?
So politically, the Arizona state legislature certainly has a better case. The issue is whether the Supreme Court is willing to adjust its precedent from 12 years ago to address the constitutional issue here, which is Arizona clearly has the right to make sure that its voters are citizens of the United States and there's not voter fraud in its state.
Well, 6-3 conservative majority, does that help Arizona's case if it goes that far?
Well, the Chief Justice was with the other side in this case 12 years ago, but since then we've had Justice Gorsuch, Justice Kavanaugh, and Justice Barrett. So we'll see. I mean, it looks like a pretty good case for Arizona.
For sure. Very interesting. We'll continue to follow. Let's move on here to pro-life laws in both Mississippi and Florida are now in effect following legal challenges. What do those laws look like in each state, please? Florida and, what did I say? Florida and Mississippi.
Well, the states are doing what states did for the first 200 years of our republic before the Supreme Court wrongly decided Roe versus Wade 49 years ago, and that is that they can regulate medical procedures, they can regulate abortions, they can regulate industries in their state just like every other industry, just like every other medical procedure. So you're going to see in these states that there's a limitation on, there's no longer this unrestricted right for people to get to kill their unborn babies until the moment of birth. There are going to be restrictions on this, and depending on the state you're in, there are going to be more restrictions than others. I would say if you don't like abortion restrictions, move to California. If you don't like COVID restrictions, move to Florida. And
pretty much it's pretty much half and half right now, right? In terms of for states, either pro-abortion or pro-life.
Yeah, I mean it's broken down. It's actually where it's supposed to be now. It's in the democratic process, state by state, 50 laboratories of democracy, and it's not being decided by 7 unelected, lifetime appointed federal judges on the Supreme Court, which is what happened 49 years ago in Roe versus Wade.
You know, it's absolutely stunning, too, when you watch all the reaction, how so many people, especially on the left, all right, they believe that somehow abortion is done with for good. and they're really lying for all, they're trying to gin it up here. And how does this calm down? How does this begin to get back to this? Like you said, it goes back to the states now.
Yeah, this is similar to welfare reform back in 1994, 95, 96, whenever they passed it. When Republicans passed welfare reform, the left said that people are going to die on the streets. Well, that's not what happened. You had 50 laboratories of democracy with welfare reform. Welfare rules plummeted by 90%. What you're going to see here is there going to be abortion regulations that make it where you can't get partial birth abortions. You can't kill your unborn child up until the moment of birth. There are going to be restrictions in your state. In some states, it's going to be more restrictive than others. But this is how the democratic process works in our republic.
Mike, thank you very much for your time today and your insights. Appreciate it very much. Have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you.